you, my baby. Life, yeah, it would be so easy. Think that we could ever live happily. Easy as go, need to let go. It kills me every day. Doesn't matter what I wanna say. Easy as go, stop calling your phone. 'Cause every hour makes the echo seem louder.
Does this sound okay? More
A
vocals?
little more vocal.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me turn down the track a little bit.
And maybe a little touch more click.
Yeah? Okay. Alright, so he wants more vocal. I'm going to turn him up over here. And over here. Okay, so how do I turn up the metronome? Anybody know?
Top right.
Here?
Did you ask about the metronome?
Yeah.
Can you do it from like right there?
This is turn the metronome off and on. But he said he wants it a little bit louder.
Oh, louder.
And that's under record settings. I can hold it down here. There we go. Metronome. I can turn up just a bit. There we go. Okay. This is really, really important, and I'm going to save you like a whole weekend going on Google and looking up forums. This is like a super simple thing, and you're going to miss it. So please, please, please write this down right now. At first, he's like when you played it back, I can't hear my vocals. They cut out, right? Logic has this thing, and I don't love this that they do this, but when we're playing back a track, and just like what we did, I'm not recording, right? We're just trying to get a level and trying to get it going for the vocalist. See how the record arm is like a light red? That means that we're playing back, we're getting levels, and he can hear himself. Okay, if I click on it, record arm, it's going to turn the vocals off when I press play. So what you can write down is to perform without recording, make sure the record arm is light red. When you're ready to record, click on it again, and it's a bright blinking red button, and you're ready to record. If I were to press play right now without recording, he won't be able to hear his vocals. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So to practice, it's like this, and he can hear himself. To actually record, you go like this, and now we're ready to record now, so I make sure I click it on. And I don't know why they decided to do it that way. There's so much confusion around that. So sometimes I forget about it. Anyways, just heads up, that's the case. Okay, so we are ready to record, and here we go. We have 1 bar of count-in, because it says 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. This is the pre-roll, or count-in. So I'm going to give him 2 bars of pre-roll, so 2 bars, which is bars 3 and 4. But I'm going to put the playhead on bar 4, and I can press record, and it's going to start on 3. Does that make sense? So once again, I say, Liam, you want 2 bars of pre-roll? He says, yeah, that's fine. So here's the 2 bars. But I put the playhead here, and once I press record, it's going to jump back 1 bar. Yep, the track is still pretty loud. At this point, I'm actually going to compress it a little bit, just get this vocal louder. I'm going to go over here. We haven't talked a lot about this. See, as I play it, everyone click on the compressor with me. It's found right here. Double click, click, click. Over here. The compressor is actually not doing anything. And I can tell because the meter's not moving. So I want to catch some of these louder points in this vocal, and I want to push them down with the compressor and then turn up the quieter parts. So in order to make this active, what I need to do is grab this threshold and bring it down to the left. And at this point, you're going to see the meter moving. So once again, turn the ratio, or this is the threshold. bring it down until I don't want to go over -5. So -5 is the gain reduction that's happening. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's not a problem. This is the most difficult plugin to understand, and we're going to go into greater detail as we get into mixing. But the first thing that we learned is let's turn this threshold down to the left. And what it's going to do is it's going to squash those loud signals. So it's kind of hitting 5 dB right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up the makeup gain right here. Makeup gain. I'm going to turn that up 5, maybe even a little bit more, so it's a little bit louder. Ah, there it is. Now it's finally cut through the mix.
Kills me every day. Doesn't matter what I want to say.
Something happened when he said "say" right there. Let me see.
Doesn't matter what I want to say.
Maybe too much vibrato.
Wanna say.
Okay, sorry. Really? Okay, let's see if this is safe. If that's any good. So once again, I'm gonna highlight it. Press Shift Spacebar. I can't say Shift Spacebar enough. I love this one. Shift Spacebar. That one's way better. So I'm gonna play from here.
Doesn't matter what I wanna say.
Oh, nice and smooth. Perfect. So I'm just gonna continue doing that. So what I need you guys to do is I just need you to practice getting the hang of this tool, right? And it's just automatic. As soon as I hover over any tape folder, turn to the tool and we just swipe left to right. And we just highlight these different regions. So we listen to it and say, oh, something sounded off with that one, right? Once again, with current technology, the way it is, we can tune vocals, we can do pretty much anything we want to manipulate them. But for me personally, I prefer to get obviously the best vocal from the performer, and what I'm trying to capture is the performance and the emotion and the performance and the confidence and the vibe from the vocalist. Right? So I feel like they go for it, they hit that chorus, that first line, and it's just perfect, but it's slightly flat or sharp. If it's just like, I'm not going to be, if it's too concerned, because it's an easy fix, we can tune it up, it's going to sound perfect and natural. Okay, so I'm looking mainly for performance. Also the timing. I prefer not to change the time manually too much because it's not as good as, of course, the vocalist doing it naturally and singing the timing, right? So if the timing's off, I'll usually get the vocalist to do it again. If they leave and I miss something, and then it's easy for me to move it around, of course, it's super easy. But I prefer if I can get the performance. It's all about the performance nowadays. Back in the day, it was the performance and, of course, the tuning. If the tuning's off, you can't, yeah. It's funny, I find when I listen to old recordings, not me, but we're all so used to perfect vocals. Every song you hear on the radio is absolutely perfectly tuned. No matter who it is, right? Whether you're Beyonce or whoever, all the vocals are tuned. Alright, so it has to be perfect. So when you listen to old songs from the 70s and 80s and before, you have to kind of admire how amazing those vocalists were, right? And how long the process was and how many takes they had to do to get just right, perfect. So it's much easier nowadays. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up today's class. So if you have time tonight and you have the energy to open up Logic, I want you to practice comping these vocals. And tomorrow, of course, I'll review it, make absolutely sure everybody knows how to do it perfectly, right? So don't worry if you don't fully grasp it right now. I just want you to experiment on it by yourself at home. And then tomorrow, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to finish off comping these vocals, and I'm going to show you how to tune them. So we can tune them with flex pitch, we can move them around, and we can actually create our own harmonies. I can actually take his lead vocal, copy it down below, and just pitch it up and down and create a harmony for it. Although we have a lovely harmony already. Just in case. But I'll be like, I like that, I don't like that, maybe this word, maybe that word, but he does the majority of it.
Yeah.
I do the majority of the track, and he'd be like, oh, maybe can you try this chord, or this, can you try this and that, maybe, And so we each have our job to do, but we help each other with the other job as well.
Yeah.
Now, if there's 3 of us in the room, it's like me and 2 top liners, it's it's like I said, it's not exact science. It depends on how famous each person is or how much, like, I mean, so in a way, so let's say, well, I'm the track guy and I'm really well known, so I take 50%. It's 50% track, 50% vocals, and you two top liners split 25-25.
Like someone like Diplo will do that one.
Diplo or like DJ Mustard maybe, or
Yeah, like what if it's like Mike Will and Ryan Tedder together? Like they're both like equally
yeah,
making as much money, right?
exactly. But let's say, so for me, like 50% song, 50% lyrics, and so be me 50%, Liam 25, and another guy 25. If I was like bigger than they were, but if we're just starting out and for the same level, if it's three people, for me it's like 30-30-30, like 33-33. Because there's three in the room.
Yeah, a lot of top line writers feel hard done by getting 50% of publishing if the producer has just made a kind of beat and a couple of little sounds here and there, and the top line writer's like written the whole song over the top, and you know, has not really made any more contribution. I think sometimes justifiably so. You know. They literally give them a couple of Apple loops and say, there you go, write a song,
Yeah.
and then they get 50% of the publishing.
Well, to be honest, that's one of the reasons why I'm here. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, at some point you want to take more control of that side of things, because you're right, you would lose 50% of the song if someone just gave you a few Apple loops. So why not just do it yourself?
Well, that's why a lot of people do
Yeah.
do these courses. You know, a lot of top line people come in and do a handful of courses.
Yeah. It's definitely unfair for the top liner because the producer also gets production money and producer credit, mechanical royalties on the song. The producer makes a lot more than the top liner does. So for me as like a producer and songwriter, I'm in the room, I'm writing the song, but I'm producing, I'll make more money than the top liner.
Can we have a listen to the song?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh, like,
Do you mind?
Which one?
The one
Uma
the
Thurman?
you just had?
Yeah.
so check it out.
I wrote a song for Fallout Boy. Alright.
Can you tell me a little bit about the story behind it? So, so you're signed, you have a publishing deal,
Yeah.
and they sent you tracks.
Yeah, it sent me a track, and it was just, I mean, I don't particularly, I never thought I was into like Fall Out Boy, but I sang the hook, I just made the hook up on the spot, sung it in, and they loved it and they cut it, and finished the song, and then it was their second single on their album, and it was a top 10.
Is it their only top 10? Or
It was their best radio single of all time.
there you go.
Wow. Check it out.
But your publisher wasn't into your idea at first, right? You gave him like, oh, this is not.
Yeah, he thought it was. I mean, that's what publishers do. That you send them ideas and they say no every time.
Covers their ass, right? So they
Yeah,
do everything on the
yeah.
song.
And then when it goes well, they're like, "Oh, I knew it was a great idea."
Yeah. But the song, your idea got to like the head of the company, right? And he loved it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, but look, this happens. This sort of stuff happens all the time. But it's like, you know, to get to this point, like, there's so many loops you gotta jump through.
But who are you talking to management? Like who are you submitting all this stuff to?
Well, I have like a label, so like my label manages Fall Out Boy, Sia, Panic at the Disco, Weezer, Courtney Love, all these people. So like they, you know, for example, Fall Out Boy need a single. They'll just go, what we got for Fall Out Boy.
Cool.
And so they have someone like came up with the track, and they're sending the track around to all their top liners, and they all come up with ideas, and Liam's got through.
Yeah. But it's, you know,
The stars have to align
Yeah,
just
it's-
right in the universe.